detective thrill me.
Thanks for joining us. We've jumped off the Cannon bus, Jared, after 3 straight. I mean, I enjoyed those 3. I'm not going to lie. I'm enjoying the books immeasurably because I've just hit the American Ninja, followed by Invasion USA.
Yeah.
I can't remember what chapter I'm on right now, but I think it's another one of those. Oh, that's right. Some fucking softcore smut flick.
Yeah, which
with
one?
Sylvia Christel in it.
Yeah, there's a few.
Again, which
There's
one?
a few.
There's a couple.
Yeah, I'm bouncing back and forth between that and the recently arrived Bronson Loose books about
Bronson Loose.
Charles Bronson movies. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I've started on Death Wish. It's obviously, given it's like a whole book dedicated to the series, it's pushing a little more in depth, but similar vein to the Cannon's
Is
book.
it? Have we got any more about Charles's? Not really being that keen to make these movies. Or not?
Initially, like it's so I'm only on Death Wish 1 at the moment. They arrived through this week, so I'm still sort of working through Death Wish 1, and yeah, he had a few things to say. One of the funniest parts was there was a quote from him somewhere that said something along the lines of I don't have friends and I don't need any, or something like that. And I thought, yeah, okay. You can kind of get that from your aloof persona on the screen, Charles.
Buddy.
Pretty good.
All right, tonight, The Crow, the 2024 edition, just came onto Amazon Prime. Now, I'm going to put my hand up and say it was me who put this out there, partially because there's been a lot of shit talk about this movie.
Yeah.
Like from the get-go.
Yes.
Nobody liked the idea of this. It failed at the box office. It was universally panned as being rubbish. I wanted to see it from a perspective of, surely it can't be that bad.
Yeah.
Right? It can't be that bad.
And
It's
obviously we've watched the previous ones. I'm not going to lie, I did pick up the Blu-ray in JB and sort of think, should I take this with me? And then I placed it back and just waited for the stream.
Good one. Smart.
Yeah.
Smart. So, The Crow, 2024. Before we get to that, what have you been watching? Mine's pretty sharp. I was away for a week. I got to see The Monkey.
Yep.
I enjoyed The Monkey. It's very dark humour. Some of the deaths and stuff reminded me of, like, Final Destination. It was enjoyable for the most part. It kind of loses its way by the end. It's a little bit sort of doesn't wrap up great. But overall, I'd say it was okay. It's interesting because Osgood Perkins obviously has a certain style, because this looks very much like Longlegs in terms of the aesthetic and everything. So I'm interested to see how he progresses, as he moves forward with his next few films, because as I said, I think they did have a fair bit in common.
Yep.
If I had to say that, but overall, I had some fun with it. I mean, it was fucking black as black, the humour, but it was at times I was laughing my ass off. My wife's looking at me like as people were being heinously murdered, and I'm fucking giggling like an idiot. So I think it kind of hit the brief for me. Continued with Reacher season 3. And then I watched a bit of stuff because where I was, I only had access to one streaming service. I only had access to Netflix.
Yep.
And so we watched a couple of Blumhouse series that are on Netflix, doco series, The Worst Ex Ever and The Worst Roommate Ever. And fuck me, Jared. There are some fucking cockheads in this
bad
world.
roommate. Yeah.
Fuck a duck. Like some real pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And it was, some of it. I mean, there was one. The woman ordered, I think it's a type of fucking bacteria. Maya or something like that over the dark web to put on this woman, her roommate. Like, it was fucking ridiculous. I could not believe it. What kind of asshole does that? Holy shit.
Adam, I don't know.
Fuck.
I really don't know.
So they were rather interesting. And then the last one I finished off was another doco called Bad Surgeon, Love Under the Knife. This one was kind of scary because this guy was actually a surgeon. I initially thought he's telling all these women he's a surgeon, but he's not. He was actually a surgeon, but he kept trotting out this experimental surgery, removing people's tracheas and replacing them with a plastic one covered in their own stem cells. It turns out they weren't covered in their own stem cells, and within about a week, that shit was rotting inside you. And so all of the people he did it to died, basically. But he also did it by getting around with a few ladies. He was also trotting out a number of ladies on the side. And then the funniest bit for me was after finally getting caught by one of the women that, look, something's not right here. Because he told her that the Pope's going to marry us and all this sort of shit and, this sort of fanciful stuff. When she finally sort of bailed him up, he quickly pivoted, Jared, with the time, tried and tested, well, the surgery's just a cover. I'm in the CIA. And I was like, you fuckers, you're not even doing that. You don't even fucking try now, do you?
It's like a Steven Seagal movie, isn't it? It's just the fallback. It's always the fallback.
Oh, no, but I'm in the fucking Secret Service or some shit.
Yeah.
So,
as soon as you start getting squeezed, it's like, shh, don't tell anyone.
Yeah,
but
I'm undercover. What?
I'm going to try that.
Yeah,
Try it next time I'm under the pump.
Yeah. Why did you do your reports at school? Shh. I'm fucking working for the CIA.
Listen, you can't tell anyone. But I'm in here observing somebody.
And vis-a-vis, I don't do reports. Because I'm not really a teacher. Yeah, fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, shithouse what he did, but just that, I just couldn't stop laughing because I was just like, look, of course.
Anytime, there's often, in these con man ones, you swing between, like, really feeling for people that got caught under it.
Yeah.
But there's always a moment of, they explain something that this person said and you kind of start just giggling. Like,
well,
did you believe that?
Well, he told her, I'm in a league of...
League of Assassins?
Well, I'm in a league of doctors who... It's all hush-hush and we basically do surgery on, like the president and the Pope and all this shit. And I'm like, that does not sound like the truth.
No.
Like, I'm sorry, but that doesn't sound right.
I can't remember which one. There was one that I was watching where it was like it was another scamming one, and it was like someone's adult children trying to basically explain to their mum that you're being catfished or whatever, and she's like, no. He told me he's off on an oil rig at the moment, and she produced a photo, and it was the funniest fucking photoshopped head. This bloke putting his head on somebody on an oil rig. And I just fucking burst out laughing. I can't remember what it was, but the children are just like, that's Photoshop, right? Like, it's plainly obvious.
But something I said to my wife when I was discussing this was like, there always has to be a story. You can never be just normal. Like, like people just can't. Like, in this current day and age, everything has to be hyped up. Like, even your social media posts, they're all fucking structured and shit so they look the best they possibly can. It's a story, basically.
Yep.
And people start using this, and then when you get con men involved, look at fucking Elizabeth Holmes. Didn't have had nothing to offer. But that thing blew up to $1 billion industry. It just shows how fucking gullible we are.
Yeah.
And then, Belle Gibson.
Oh.
I needed a platform. I needed a story. Like, nobody was going to buy my bullshit cookbook if I didn't say I had cancer that some guy fucking waved a box in front of me.
After the Netflix show came out, the fucking interview on 60 Minutes, snippets of the interview kept doing the rounds. And it's comical.
Yes.
It's fucking comical.
And there's delusions and there's just fucking flat out lying.
Yeah.
And then
but you can see how quickly it unravels when someone just smells bullshit.
Yeah.
Like in that interview where she starts fucking just weave. She starts doing the Donald Trump. She starts doing the weave. There's a word salad coming out. And Tara Brown just continues to repeat the question over and over.
Yeah.
It just crumbles. The facade just crumbles. She was a hair off going, don't tell anyone. Well, I know we're on national television, but I'm in the CIA.
Yeah, I didn't have cancer.
You got to keep it quiet.
Can you turn the camera off? I got something to tell you. You know what I mean? Like, it's a story. But the thing is, the Mel Gibson one's even worse because fucking Apple should have had fucking more sense. And the fact that there was absolutely no checks and balances done there.
None.
That's the most ridiculous fucking thing I've ever heard. You gave her money under false pretenses without checking anything.
Yeah, I hate to be crass, but can you show us a medical certificate? Like, at the very least.
I know, like I'm fucking Dr. Nick waved a fucking box in front of me and he told me I had cancer.
Oh, my God.
All right. That's not how you usually find out.
Not normally. No, not normally.
Checked out, yeah. So, yeah, they were some pretty interesting things.
Yeah.
But that was it.
Yeah, right. I kicked things off with a couple of Shudder viewings.
Oh.
I watched Bloody Axe Wound, which just landed. So that's the one where it's the girl. It's centered around a girl whose father is essentially like the Jason Voorhees of her town.
Oh, yeah. Any good?
It's pretty bad, unfortunately. Okay. Like it's
cheap.
No, it seems to have enough money behind it, but the idea just doesn't go anywhere. Like it starts to become like, so essentially they work in this sort of town video store, and it's like they present it as the killings are, we're making the sequels, so we've got to go and kill a bunch of people, and so this ends up on videotape, unexplained somehow, but. So you start there and you think, okay, well I'm in. I'm interested in the concept. How are you gonna run this? And you know, Dad's sitting at the family dinner table chatting to her with a face that looks like it's been fucking through a grinder and all this sort of stuff. So you start from a place of well, this is interesting, but it just doesn't take it anywhere. All unfortunately, right. There's a couple of entertaining performances. There's like a friend of hers who's trying to get in on the scene, and you know. Very sort of theatrical delivery of everything, and she kind of offers him a part in the movie. So next thing you know, he starts fucking cropping up in every scene in some sort of disguise or some sort of character, which gets a few laughs. It sort of has it entertaining along the way, but the whole premise just doesn't really get used, unfortunately, because that's the whole reason I was there. So yeah, it was a little bit disappointing in that regard.
Okay.
Continued on the sort of coming of age in the horror genre sort of thing that I mentioned last time, and I watched The Clove Hitch Killer, which I've been meaning to watch for years.
Seen that. I thought that was okay.
I quite liked it.
There were moments that were it got a bit out of hand in the end.
Yeah, I was hoping they were going to tie more of like the history into, because they started off with this really kind of, you know, we're digging into who the Clove Hitch Killer is, and then you're throwing out the character, and it's, you know, very different and whatever. And so, you know, the kid's getting pulled in the two different directions, and who actually is this person and that sort of thing. But it gets to a point where it drops the kind of the serial killer backstory and bits and pieces that they've uncovered, and just goes into the dynamic in the group, which is okay. I thought it was perfectly fine. I thought it was a good watch, and I'm glad I finally got around to it.
Yeah, it had vibes of the BTK sort of thing, didn't it?
Yes, that was
what's the
very
actor's
much
name?
what I was thinking. Dylan. What's
fuck
his name?
me.
Yeah,
the guy's been around forever.
Yeah,
seen him in a million different things. Dylan McDermott.
Yeah. Yes,
he's fucking excellent.
Yeah,
he's really good.
And I thought the son and the girl that get involved had a really nice chemistry too. Mm. So yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that one. I watched a doco called My Amityville Horror.
Oh yeah,
which is one of the Lutz children. As an adult, sort of talking about it. Another it disappointed me again, because this guy, he just seems like an angry man, and I can't say that I came out of it believing anything.
So he was trying to tell us that
he's basically saying it all happened, but there's also this real bent of he hated George Lutz. He was like, he had no father, he had no parenting skills. It was all military, you know, his military background. That's how he parented. Then he starts throwing out there that he was involved in fucking satanic shit before we got to the house, so that's why it opened it up, and maybe it didn't happen to anyone else. I just watched it and I'm like, it's so hard to get on board with this guy because he's so unlikable through the whole thing. And I mean, you know, clearly there may be some reasons for that, especially.
But they might also be playing tell everyone you thought George was a cunt, because that means that I'm not just going along like with this. Like,
well,
you know,
what
like
I got
legitimately happened, even though I hated the guy who.
Well, what I got from it was the filmmakers started bringing that out, and it actually swung towards, you hate this guy so much, but he's kind of warped you in a way. And none of this is true, but you're all tying this all together in this hatred or whatever. That's kind of what I got from it. But yeah.
Now, look, you can never be 100% sure, but I think over the years it's pretty fucking well documented that it didn't happen.
Well, there's all sorts of shit. There's all, we found the footprints in the snow. Or people have gone back to the fucking weather things. For 28 days they were there, and they said it didn't snow once in the time that you lived there.
The door wasn't blown off its hinges. The fucking, there's a multitude of different things that it's pretty safe to say are proven that did not occur.
Yes.
Right.
And once the Warrens got involved too, that's not strengthening your case in a lot of circles.
And also, basically, Lutz tried to play the game of like, but the movie we embellished.
Yeah.
So all that stuff's the embellishment. So then, what did actually happen?
Yeah.
Like which of it's so what? When is any of it the actual truth? Clearly
this
not.
This didn't come out leaving me with any more sort of feelings other than it didn't happen, and this guy is severely fucked up from possibly George Lutz may have been a poor stepfather to him and has left him with some mental scars because it looks that way.
Yeah, okay.
So wasn't a great watch. And the last one I watched was continuing on the canon books.
Route?
I found that championship season.
Oh, yes.
Found it on YouTube.
How is that?
It's pretty good.
I heard that's one of their more professional.
And it was written and directed by Father Karras, wasn't it?
Yes.
You can almost see that it was a play.
Yeah.
Because once you get to this, you get through sort of some initial stuff, and then it's sort of the team coming together in this house. And then it's just wordy. It's just back and forth from there. They're getting stuck into each other, and they're sort of... But yeah, it was an interesting watch about, this coach that was all sort of team this, team that, and they're coming together to celebrate the real positive thing. But then it starts to uncover that, you've all got your warts.
Yeah.
And some of you had them back then, and feelings towards each other back then that didn't really come out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I felt about sort of the end of it, how it all sort of wraps up, but it was
worth it.
Yeah, it was a decent watch. Mainly, like it's loaded with good actors.
Yeah.
So it's like Stacey Keach and Martin Sheen and Paul Sorvino and Bruce Dern, and you pretty much know everybody that pops up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, not a bad watch. Unfortunately, it was one of those ones where it was a playlist, so it was cut up into like 22 5-minute videos.
Fuck.
But they rolled together pretty quickly. I didn't get too many ads in between. So yeah,
it could have been hard.
And I understood. I mean, even in the intro to the canon books, the guy says, some of them are really hard to track down. So some of it is watching something that's legit been ripped off a VHS on YouTube. This one looked a little better than that.
Okay.
So, I did check out Dogman with the kids.
Dogman.
Dogman. Yeah.
Any good?
That was all right. Bit of fun.
Usual sort of
they laughed at
type
it.
of stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
It's obviously got a background in books and things like that, so they were very familiar. But yeah, I had a few laughs. So that's, if I can go into a kids movie and say
I got a laugh.
I got a laugh out of it. Good.
All right, let's take a break. Here's the trailer for 2024's The Crow.
When someone you love dies, you will know emptiness. You will know what it is to be completely and utterly alone. Nothing will prepare you for that day. You will never forget. And you will never, ever forgive.
The Crow, rated R. Experience it in IMAX, now playing.
The Crow from 2024, directed by Rupert Sanders, who directed Ghost in the Shell, produced by Samuel and Victor Hadida, who produced Resident Evil, John Jennings, who produced In Too Deep, and Edward R. Pressman, who produced American Psycho. The screenplay was by Zach Balin, who wrote Creed 3, and William Schneider, and was based on the comic book series by James O'Barr. It stars Bill Skarsgård as Eric, FKA Twigs as Shelley, and Danny Houston as Vincent Rogue. The budget was $50 million. The box office was $24 million worldwide. I got two pieces of trivia. This is the piece that I could not believe what I was seeing. There are over 40 producers involved in this. I fucking could not. How can there be that many fucking people involved?
40 very unhappy people when the box office returns came.
Clearly unhappy. But the piece of trivia that I got was it's a little bit wordy, but it's more relating to the thoughts of previous Crow director Alex Proyas. The film's first trailer met with an overwhelmingly negative response. Alex Proyas, director of The Crow, immediately stated that this new version should never have been made. His quote is, "The Crow is not just a movie. Brandon Lee died making it, and it was finished as a testament to his lost brilliance and tragic loss. It is his legacy. That's how it should remain." After the film's release, Proyas posted screenshots of all the bad reviews and commented that box office is a bloodbath. I thought the remake was a cynical cash grab. Not much cash to grab, it seems.
Alex.
Take
Petty,
the high road,
fucking
brother.
petty. Take the high road.
In response to Proyas' early criticism, star Bill Skarsgård suggested that he was entitled to his own opinion, but also pointed out the original film had already spawned 3 sequels.
Yeah.
Which is fair. That's a fair comment, Bill.
Look, it's nothing sacred. We've butchered it 3 more times.
Yeah.
In movies.
And look, the first movie...
I've heard the TV shows not that bad.
Mark Dacascos nails it,
yeah,
of course.
But it's obviously not going to line up. And I mean, there's people out there that don't think the first one's very good. I think I'm not one of those people. I really enjoy it. Obviously, there are external things that raise it up a little bit.
Let me put it to you this way. The Crow is excellent, the first Crow, but it's not fucking Jaws.
No.
It's not like... It was not something that couldn't be made again.
Yeah. I just don't understand why we get so bothered by all of this stuff. Like, yes, I get, okay, you're not happy with the people that are making it and feel like they're making it for the wrong reasons. But we come from, cinema comes from, and actors come from a fucking line of, theatre and stuff like that where plays were done over and over and over for fucking ever.
Yeah.
So I don't understand this whole you can't touch something.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
I think it's well within the realms to do it.
Yeah, of course. Just don't do it like this.
Everything is going to get remade. Like, sooner or later, we're going to be remaking every fucking thing, right? So I think that we need to accept that. We don't have to like it. We don't have to like it.
Yeah.
And Alex
But I just feel like it's one of those things where if you enjoy something, why not just go in with a bit more of an open mind to say, well, I'm looking for the next good one.
Yes.
Or something like that. Maybe that's because we love these series that have fucking 12 and 13 entries. So we're used to it, Adam. But I'm just kind of
fuck. Just quietly, sorry, this has come late. I didn't mention it before, so before we get into the Crow here, but a good piece of casting news. I contacted you. We spoke about this not that long ago, Jared, but Linda Cardellini has now signed on to play Pamela Voorhees in the Crystal Lake TV series, which is a fucking great piece of casting.
Yeah, I'm all in.
So, they're finally getting their shit together.
Yeah.
They seem to be moving forward. Allegedly, it has absolutely no way related to anything Brian Fuller put together.
Yeah, which is a shame.
It is a shame. But clearly they must have fucking pivoted and gone in some direction. Yep. But I'm happy with the first piece of casting. I think it sounds like a really good idea to go with her and hopefully continue with some good stuff. Sorry, back to that was I got the second ever email from Jason World about that one. I signed up to that What was the first
Jason mailing list? Well, when Jason was in Multiverses. I got an email to say, it's about a day after I signed up to Jason World, I got the email saying, Jason's in Multiverses, and then fucking
boom,
donuts for 6 months. Until Linda Cardellini signs on.
Good on you, fellas. Keep the fucking fires burning, you guys. You know what? You got to get a stick and poke it.
Exactly.
That's how the fire continues. Yeah. Get some fucking cardboard and put it underneath.
Yeah, Jason's world is when you kind of wander in to your other half or something snoozing on the bed, and then you think, are they alive? And you got to fucking
Yeah, I'm
You got to grab a
sleeping,
hand
asshole.
and lift it up or something.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, back to the Crow. Back to
Yeah,
the
they
Crow.
roll over and blurt out, Linda Cardellini's been cast. Oh, thank you.
Oh, fuck.
Go back to
I
sleep.
better get that on socials immediately. Okay, The Crow 2024. I think this is one of those movies for me. I didn't actually even want to watch this. I had this feeling in my guts as I started to put it on, similar to when I'm like, I'm crook. I just, inside me, I was like, I don't want to fucking watch this. Even though I was the one who said we should.
Yeah.
And it just,
Normally it's the other way around. You say we should, and I get that feeling when I turn it on.
Yeah, you've had IBS for years. but I had reason to feel like that because it was soulless, fucking pretentious, boring crap. There are very few positives to take out of it, and it's really only memorable for its fucking awfulness. I have no idea what the audience, which audience they thought they were going to get with this. Like, who were you aiming this at?
Yeah.
I'm baffled by it. It was a chore to sit through, and I took 3 fucking goes. I had to stop 3 times to watch it at 110 minutes. Jared, I don't use this word often to talking about film. I mean, there's probably some people who come back and say you've used it fucking 25 times across the 400 episodes you've done.
Yeah, note here and here where you said it before.
I hate this movie. I would never watch this movie again. It just has nothing for me.
Yep.
In any way, and I gave it half.
Half.
Oof. Yep.
Yeah, I was pretty close. I went with 1. I wanted to watch it. So when you said let's do this one, I was like,
feel irritable bowel syndrome.
I had there was a rumble in the stomach.
Yeah, you went.
Yeah.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah. There was a rumble at the stomach, but I was already at the buffet serving up another plate. I was ready to go. So no, it's
yours was about a partial food poisoning. That's all. It had nothing to do with the movie.
It's something that I did want to see, regardless, because I mean, shit, I've watched all of the Crow movies. The only thing I haven't watched is the TV series. So
Jared,
I've watched all the other Crow
question
movies.
for you: is this the worst of the lot?
There's actually some competition, but yes, I would probably put this the worst. Wicked Prayer's pretty close. I also thought City of Angels was shite, but it's not anywhere near as bad as this one. So yeah, I still held out hope that there was going to be something there for the genre fans. You know, often there's genre movies that people just hate, like horror movies or action movies or something. And I was just hoping there was going to be a tinge of something there that was going to land with us because we're that sort of audience. But yeah, no such luck. It was awful. I think one of the biggest faults of it was that the chemistry is just non-existent between the leads. There's many more issues regarding that relationship and how it's presented, which we'll go into. Mm-hmm. But that's one of the biggest problems, especially given we spend a lot more time than the original Crow does on that setup, and we get far less somehow out of it.
I know.
It's fucking
I could not believe it. I could not believe the amount of time it took. And when I looked at my watch and realised they have been fucking putting this together for 45 fucking minutes.
Talk about the juice not being worth a squeeze. Like,
no.
I mean, mate, I've put a fucking orange under like 100 kilo weight, dropped it, and got like a drop.
Yeah.
That's what you got out of the
we got.
relationship.
And all I could think of was they did this in the original Crow in the first 10 minutes or something like that via flashbacks.
Yeah,
I don't multiple flashbacks.
Yeah, we barely even get much between the
Shelley
two.
and Eric.
Yeah, in terms of like conversation or how they met, or any of that, we barely get any of it. It's all presented from after him coming back as the Crow, and we understand, you came back as the Crow because that love was so strong. That's what's presented to us. that we just take it. It's okay. We accept it. What we see,
and they just
is
give us
enough
a
to go with
couple
that.
of little things. They're living together. They're
Yeah.
going to get married.
Yeah.
Like that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough.
It was far more. It was sold far better than the relationship in this one. So,
Oh God.
yeah,
But that's only one of its fucking problems.
I settled out of one, but it was. I can tell you, there was points where I was almost ready to dish out. I don't think I've ever given a 0. I've always given a half.
I gave Freddy's dead
Yeah.
a fucking 0.
I've always given a half because I'm like, you've gone to the effort to make a movie, so I'll give you that. I'm giving you a half, but yeah, I was.
But I'm more of a. But I didn't want to see the movie that you went to the effort for.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, into the likes. I actually have a couple of likes. It
Yeah.
doesn't change my
No,
because
they're
the
all
fucking
very, very
dislikes are just a cavalcade of them.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to
massive.
say this: Danny Houston is the only actor who gives anything resembling a performance of any type. He's not great.
Yeah, but he unfortunately does that in one of the worst characters in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. But at the very least, I understood his villainy, and I got a little bit of energy
he's
from
a
him
guy where you
occasionally.
look at and say, if this sort of character was crafted, if this was sort of carved out,
We'd have a lot more.
You'd be
We'd be
looking
right
pretty
in,
good in
You'd
his
be right
hands.
in the right pocket.
yeah. Okay.
So he gave me at the very least something that nobody else in this movie gives.
I'll give you that.
Fuck me.
Yeah, there was a couple of very minor points regarding the action because,
Yeah.
again, not to go too much, not to go too early, but most of the action sucks. But I didn't mind the one where there was a couple of particular points. There was a shot that stuck with me, which was when he's fucking sitting in the car and the gun goes off and that guy fucking gets shot, and it all sort of happens quickly, and then they just kind of they sell it by showing a shot of a puddle and the cigarette that the guy's smoking
Yes.
just fucking drops in the puddle and then just goes
Yeah,
out.
I saw that, yeah.
And you immediately look at that and you're like, oh, he's killed him.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. There's a moment of artistry in there.
Yeah.
It's just a touch.
Yeah,
It's just a
yeah.
touch.
Yeah,
So-
I didn't mind that. It was a nice sort of touch.
Yeah, I liked that. And I also liked... So there's points where Skarsgård's character is... I don't mind the fact that he's not necessarily looking like he knows what he's doing in the fights.
Yes,
at
early
certain
on
points.
they sort of treat him as like kind of a buffoon.
Yeah, well,
Bit
he's
bumbling. He doesn't really know what to do.
He's fumbling around, and there's points like there's the one where he gets hit by the car, but ends up fucking in the car with them because he's been fucking run over by it, and he's gone through the windscreen.
Yeah.
Which I loved that thought process of fucking that's how we get him in the car.
How it looked was not great.
Again, it was another action scene that was fucking not great. But then, he gets kicked out of the car and he gets run over by traffic. And we start getting these things where his kind of wounds are just kind of knitting themselves together on the fly. And
And some of that looks cool. The bullet in his back and the stab in his stomach closes up when we first see
Yeah.
it. I like that. The
So
kind
I
of knitting
don't-
together.
yeah,
Of
I
the
don't
flesh?
mind a portion of... And the first guy that he fights, essentially that guy fucking kills, in air quotes, him 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, yeah.
But he doesn't die. And I'm like... That's not a bad way of showing that he doesn't know what's happened.
Yeah.
But he's come back with this fucking rage and just got mixed up with this guy. And he's just finding out, I cannot
I can't be killed.
I can't be killed.
Yeah.
Essentially. So, and when it builds, there's that scene in the opera that's not too bad in terms of the action that's in the movie.
Best scene in the film.
It's the best bit of action in the film.
Yep.
And it comes with him looking a little more confident, but still just fucking walking in, getting shot, and just kind of shaking it off and
Yeah.
continuing
Yeah.
on. So I'm like, that it actually makes sense because this is happening to a guy that's not, he's not a fucking MMA fighter, he's not a martial artist. Or,
No.
if you look back at the original, it's pretty clear that Brandon Lee kind of knows what he's doing in those scenes after he comes back. So there is a hint of making sense of, this is just a normal guy who's been fucking thrust into this situation, doesn't understand what's happening, and then figures it out as he goes along. So that was
Yeah.
one of the few parts that I enjoyed about the Crow character.
Yeah, I will accept that. I'll accept that. As I said, the scene in the opera, plenty of gore, plenty of violence. It's probably the best stage action stuff.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but wince when he fucking stands on that guy's neck and snaps it like fucking 90 degrees.
Yeah.
That was against the fucking step.
Yep.
I thought that was kind of cool.
That's
and
where
I kind of like the opera score
Yeah.
to the whole sort of orgy of violence going on. And
it's the one moment in the film where you get a hint of what we thought we were going to get, which when we kind of saw the trailer, which didn't leave us with much hope, but I think both of us sort of determined, we're going to get The Crow mixed with a little bit of John Wick.
Yeah, kind of. And it didn't turn out that way, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
the opera scene is as close as you get to that in the whole movie, I think.
I had two other bits, and you know what? This is damning it with faint praise. And I think I might have been reaching a little bit,
possibly.
And I know Gibbo in the past has sort of scolded me, which is fair enough when I sort of bring something up that kind of it was a good idea that didn't work. And as Gibbo would say, well, fuck, you can't give it a like because that they tossed something out there that didn't work.
In a movie like this.
and Gibbo is 100% correct. Like, it's
hard
to put that out there.
We still gave it a star and a half star.
It's hard to put that out there when you're saying that this plot device or idea is kind of interesting, but it didn't go anywhere. But I kind of like the idea of him being unable to heal himself after he's seen the video of what she's done.
Yeah.
It comes with a huge dislike because of when it happens.
Yes.
But I like that kind of idea. But I also, again, another huge dislike with regards to his regenerative powers and how it differentiates from the first one. But I just, that idea kind of had some merit.
Yeah.
Possibly could have been used better. But in the context of how it was used, it was a fucking disaster. It's a fucking disaster.
No, I know where you're going.
The idea had some legs that might have had something.
Yes. And I mean, even if you use the crow as the symbol, the symbolism of that, of his fucking trust being, that's something that they could have gone with, but they just decided to veer right away from how it happens in the original. And
yeah.
Which is fair enough. Like, you don't just want to be a carbon copy.
I agree. I totally agree. I'm not saying that they needed to fucking run the original, but the original understood how to streamline.
Yes.
And streamlines all that mumbo jumbo.
It's a fucking supernatural death wish, Adam. Like, it's pretty straightforward.
Basically, yes. The Crow basically takes the same approach.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine Charlie Bronson digging his fucking grave. Charlie would have shot the crow 2 seconds after seeing it.
I need a crow film with Robert Bronzy right now.
And the last one for me is, I at the very least was happy that they didn't go to the end and then have it like, he can come back too.
Yeah.
Because I was getting this ugly feeling as things went along. Yeah. They're going to fucking pull this bullshit.
Again, it comes with massive problems around how you fucking set things up.
Yeah.
But it was kind of... Yeah, as soon as that stuff was happening, I thought exactly the same. I was
they're going to fucking twist here and they're both going to be all right.
Back here, and yeah.
That's all I had. What did you have? Anything else?
No.
Talked
about them. That was it. All right. Buckle up.
From minute one, you could just tell it was all style, zero substance. But not even the style was that good.
The style was wrong from the get-go too. Like, it just didn't seem to land in a particular... Like, you look at the first one and you're like, yeah, okay, grungy, gothic sort of...
Yeah.
You know where it is. This one, I was just... The whole movie, I was like, what are we going for?
But one thing, and again, we probably, we are talking about a different movie, but we're gonna have to talk about the fucking original, right? And repeatedly, it's going to be brought up here.
Well, if you don't want to be compared to the original, don't call it The Crow.
Don't
call
make
them
it Eric Draven.
Eric and Shelley. Like,
go do elsewhere.
Yeah.
The first one, you don't know exactly which city it's in, right? You don't. It's got that grungy gothic feel. It's dark. It's foreboding. But it also has mixtures of, like, the supernatural stuff, but also Detective Albright. He's normal. Yeah. All the stuff with Ernie Hudson seems kind of normal.
Yeah.
But then when we see Brandon Lee when he's returned, it gets supernatural, more supernatural.
Yeah.
It blends that really nicely. This, I'm going to assume that they hire this Rupert Sanders for his visual style. And to me, I got fucking nothing
Well,
out of
you
his
look at the
visual
previous
style.
movies, and that seems exactly what he was hired for. But yeah,
But I got nothing. Like, there's
No,
nothing
same.
remotely
there's nothing memorable about
impressive
any
or
of it.
memorable about what he's done. Like, I mean, I laid the boot into John Woo, but when you see a John Woo movie, you know what you know what the style is.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting.
Yes.
This guy fucking got nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't know why you hire this bloke if you're not gonna give it maybe go right over the top with style.
Yeah. I feel like so the original Crow, you look at the city, and I've never read the graphic novel still to this day. So I'm basing it all off the film, but the film, it's kind of like how Batman treats Gotham City. Like, you fucking know where you are. You know what it's going to look like. You have a predictable is probably the word. You have a predictable sort of style to what the buildings look like and whatnot. But I feel like after watching the first one and then watching this one, I'm like, maybe you should have done that.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing about the style of the film that's memorable in any sense.
No.
That extends to his look.
Oh. He was the most mopey motherfucker I've ever seen.
As soon as I saw it, all I could think of was this Jared Leto Joker, which was not received well.
No.
But I'm like, this is Jared Leto Joker 2.0 right here.
And my thing was, he's so mopey. It's all cliches. He's covered in tattoos. He's got a fucking stupid mullet.
Mate.
He's tortured and doesn't speak a lot.
I was it's 5 minutes in, I was fucking over this fucking sad boy bullshit that we were getting.
He's in a psych ward. I'm like, fuck me.
Why? Because his horse died.
I never got none of that shit fucking hit for me. Like,
all you got was that. You got his horse carking it, and that it happened because his mum, and I assumed his mum was asleep on the couch because she was drugged out. That's all I got.
Dear.
Yeah. So the depth, it's fingernail deep, Adam.
Yeah.
It's fingernail deep.
And all of that
goes
is
the whole movie.
Jared,
everything about it.
All of that is before he even becomes a Crow.
Yeah.
And then he is wearing a fucking jacket at one point that looks like he shaved down a yak. And I was just like, dude, fucking hell, he got the jacket off fucking
Did you
Vin
take that
Diesel.
off Chuck Norris? That's made of Chuck Norris's chest
He
hair.
recently skinned. It's made of genuine Norris pelt.
It'd be warm.
His character, I was just fucking sick of the prick.
Yeah.
From minute one. And, this segues into the next bit. The acting from the normally reliable Bill Skarsgård. Like, he's reliable. Like, he's a guy you can hire and he'll give you a solid performance usually.
Yeah, yeah.
He's miscast for me.
Yeah, I think
He's not right for this.
Who would be?
I fucking don't know.
No, him and he's pretty average.
At one point they had Momoa in the gun on this.
Yeah. But
which might have
as
worked.
soon as you hear his name though, you think it's going to be very stylistically similar to the original.
Yes.
If it was like this, maybe he saw the concept sketches and said, "See you, fellas. I got Minecraft movies to make."
Yeah, they'll make more money than this. I know that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and FKA Twigs is just shocking.
She's really bad.
She is not an actress.
But the combination of the two, it's not just on her shoulders.
No.
But she's very bad in a couple of scenes. And then when you get them together, there's a couple that are just, it's kind of embarrassing for both of them. Like, they're both really bad. And some of that is to do with the dialogue. Yeah. There's not much you can do with some of it, but yeah.
But also the direction is not there.
Yeah.
So they're basically just flapping around in the breeze, looking for something to kind of cling to.
Yeah.
And it's not working. The rest of the actors are nondescript.
Yeah.
And basically do nothing. They sort of fill us with this group of like nefarious villains who are working for, Rogue.
Yep.
But they're all fucking non-events. Like they're all
Yeah.
one-dimensional,
Very bland.
nobodies.
Can we go through a couple of the specific things that I had in terms of the relationship?
Give it to
How
me.
much do we spent about half an hour with them kind of getting to know each other.
Is it like a handful of days?
It's a handful of days. It's a handful of days.
So you're in love after a handful of days?
Yeah. We go fucking have lunch in a field. Didn't even look like you had a picnic blanket. Like, what are we doing here? But when they together in the therapy, there is just a collection of awful lines. Awful. There's the one where she describes him as like beautifully broken or whatever, but then they're talking about their tattoos or whatever, and it's like a cry now, smile later, or something like that. And he goes, mine's cry now, cry later. My life is like cry now, cry later. And I just about vomited in my mouth on the spot.
Good one.
And then she hits him with the joke where she's like, what's the worst tea to drink or something? Reality. And I just went, fuck me. I had a fucking crisis moment. It was again where I was like, I need to stop watching movies.
Yeah.
If you love something, set it free.
Yeah,
Just fucking stop doing this to yourself.
Felt like, should I?
It was fucking embarrassing for both of them.
Mm.
And it just continues on. Like, you know, there's a couple more lines in there that are just terrible, but then we start getting them like back to the house, and then we've got a montage of them like jumping on a bed and
no, they're out swimming with the crew. Then they're jumping on the bed, taking drugs. Like the whole film revolves around love.
Yeah,
love conquers all. Love.
Yep.
Love. Brings people back to life. All this stuff. Like there is no fucking way these two are in love. No way. They basically, it's a couple of montages and some fart arsing around.
You're hanging on that this guy's love for her was so strong that the powers that be have allowed him to come back to avenge her. And I sat there watching that first half hour going, this is embarrassing for the two people involved.
Yeah. And you know that the guy in Purgatory's laughing at him and going, you're fucking get out of here.
Mate, you've known him for 3 days.
Dude.
And you were high as a kite the whole time.
Yeah. It's lunacy.
When you wake up tomorrow and look at each other and kind of go, ugh.
Yeah. She's a fucking two-face.
And she's looking at him going, how about those fucking tattoos on your eyebrow, you moron?
Yeah. They wake up after a fucking 2-day drug bender and look at each other and go, oh, Christ.
Yeah, when she rolls over and goes, what's your name again?
She has, listen, I've got to go. I'll call you later.
But yeah, those lines, like the cry now, cry later, again, I was like, this fucking sad boy shit is just not flying.
No.
At all. There's no depth to his character.
There's no depth to why he's like that either.
No.
It's really poor. And on top of all that, Jared, my understanding of the first Crow, and please correct me if I'm wrong, his love for Shelley brings him back, but the crow is what keeps him invincible. The crow that flies with him. That's why Top Dollar grabs the crow.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I got
And
that. And obviously, like, it's a symbol of
crow.
his.
Tony Todd shoots the crow, and then he suddenly bleeds.
Yeah, it's a
properly.
symbol of his kind of love for her. It's points it feels like it's her kind of directing him
where to go.
Where to go, and then.
But I got all that in the first movie. I understood all that.
Exactly.
This one, the bloke fucking tells him in Purgatory that, the reason why you can't be hurt is because you love her so much. And I was like, if that was legit,
who are you?
He'd be fucking dead.
Because remember, like in the original, I think we had the Bone Cowboy or whatever that was cut out, which was Michael Berryman, and I think he was in the TV series.
Yeah, he was cut out for good reason, I believe.
But then we get this guy, and I'm like, who are you? I thought it was, is this the same? I thought, is this the Bone Cowboy or whatever he's called? But it's just some fella who's, he had a name in the credits, but I couldn't tell you. I don't.
Yeah, I got sick of that prick fucking quick. I just thought, why do you need this?
Oh, before we move on, another line that made me vomit in my mouth. If I'm ever hard to love, try to love me harder. I just went, fuck you two. Fuck the pair of you. Just get out of here.
Holy shit. Honestly, look, The problem that this movie has, and it's interesting you bring up the Bone Cowboy, Jared.
The problem? A problem.
A
I think
problem.
is
A
the
problem.
word.
It's interesting you bring up the Bone Cowboy because I suggest the Bone Cowboy is from the graphic novels, right? So what I think happened is Proyas and co. looked at that and said, it doesn't fit here. Like, it doesn't work here. It's complicated. We take it out. We lay a quick voiceover with the young girl. I can't remember her name. Because remember the first film opens with her giving the voiceover saying, they say that a crow can bring you back.
Yeah.
That sets the scene in 1 fucking minute.
Yep.
This took an hour of complex bullshit before I even understood
Well, he
roughly
doesn't,
what you were aiming at.
he doesn't throw a coat on and get the black face paint until, what?
The end, where the last
60, 70 minutes?
Yeah, the last. He's basically before he goes to the opera.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. But like you said, it's there's not a story. There's not a story running through.
Danny Houston's character's kind of supernatural.
Well,
He's made some deal with the
we're
devil.
going to get into some problems there.
Fuck me. What was that all
So,
about?
In terms of the whole crew, they are all super bland. Like nothing memorable about any of them.
No.
Any of them.
No. None.
But he comes in at the start and then he's clearly like a big issue in Shelley's character's life.
Mm.
But then he just drops in for just a point here and there to the point where he's essentially not in the movie until the end.
Yeah, but even when he gets to the end, like it's a couple of minutes max.
Yeah,
Like,
but we fucking mix this shit up together that, okay, he's supernatural. All right. When I first saw that, I said, okay, well, I'll go with the change there. It's going to be interesting to see, okay, well, the crow's supernatural, he's supernatural. Is it just so we can have some fight at the end that's not one-sided or something? Like, where's it going to go? But then his motivation for killing them is extremely, like, just average crime boss sort of.
yeah.
You got
yeah.
a video of me killing someone. But it's not even him.
We get
He's
to the
in
video.
the room while somebody kills through his
When
influence.
we get to the video, it's just like, I just shrug my shoulders as if to say, well, fuck, who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
Well-
you're all scumbags. Why does anyone care about this?
Yeah, but I can see that if he's like living in high society, he's a crime boss.
He's
who's-
under the radar. No
which
one
is
knows.
how they're playing him. But then they've got this angle that he made the deal with the devil. So if you did that, should you not be fucking worried about anybody? Because I don't think I would be. If I can whisper in someone's ear and they piss off and jump off a building,
I assume the
like
fucking
that
horned,
woman did.
the guy with the fucking horned feet was going to come and help me.
Well, you're looking after me
I
here,
made
aren't
a
you?
deal with the bloke.
Yeah, so it just
I
makes
don't give
no
a shit
sense.
that someone fucking took some videos for TikTok.
Yeah, but I'll be dancing in the background. Like, it makes no sense.
It's only used to have him feel like he doesn't trust her anymore.
Yeah.
And then he gets hurt.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's all it's for.
I mean, he's part fucking Randall Flagg, but then nothing in that way. That's
It's fucking bullshit.
it's silly. It's
I was
really
just
silly.
sitting there going, what the fuck is all this? Like, I believe you summed it up one time. Lots happening, but nothing happening.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what's going on here. There's all these things in the air, but none of them.
Yeah. We've
They
got
just-
fucking 15 balls in the air and we dropped every one.
Yeah.
We didn't catch any of them.
Yeah. We threw them up and just stood there. But,
A couple of them hit us in the face.
yeah. We're like, I'm working on it.
Yeah, it was.
Fuck.
I just could not gather what was going on with his character, which is a real, as you said, you see him in a couple of early scenes and you're like, okay, we're in safe hands.
Yep.
But there's just, it's butchered.
All the action scenes. Apart from the one, but even that one has its problems.
Yeah, they're
Fucking
all pretty
CGI blood. Fuck me. There's a fucking umpteen CGI blood splatters and
Yeah.
bullshit going on there, which I got sick and tired of. But
But hire someone that's worked on John Wick or something just to do. Hire the bloke that was fucking standing in the background at John Wick to
one of the fucking ADs or something.
to sort out a punch up, because I looked at that scene where he goes through the windshield and then ends up outside the car, and I'm like, if you had a shot that like something
The Raid,
in those
even
movies.
they did that in the Raid where
Yeah.
they were in and out of the car,
Yes.
front to back.
That
was
would
cool.
have given you something where you just come out of that 2-3 minutes and go, that was fucking awesome. And you didn't get it.
Well, that's it. Nothing's memorable here.
No.
Nothing at all.
No. Well, I'm pushing towards the end sort of scenes with what I've got here. Have you got anything before we get to that?
Oh, fuck. I hated all of it.
Okay, well,
It's
when
not
we start
hard
to bring up, as you said, this is where there's a decent idea. And it's where he sees the video and it's her killing somebody, but obviously under the influence. You know, he watches the video, he can't necessarily see that, but then he goes back to no-name fella who's dribbling to him through 3 or 4 scenes in the movie. And he says the enemy of love is doubt.
Yeah.
Well, he says back, I never doubted her. Mate, it was literally fucking 60 seconds ago that you saw the video and you said, you're essentially doubting her. Like,
But also, that comes along in the middle of having been shot in his apartment.
Yeah.
He falls into the bath. Then he turns up in purgatory for 5 minutes of shit talk with old mate, which just saps that entire sequence of any kind of like action sort of thrust.
Also, why is purgatory a fucking? It looks like a train line or something.
Yeah.
Are we on a train platform or something?
And again, that's where I was expecting to see like the style.
Yeah. And it's just.
But it's just nothing. It just wasn't really stylish at all.
Yes. Yeah, I couldn't. When as you said, they tossed in a reasonable idea and it just goes nowhere.
Yeah.
When he goes, I didn't doubt her. And I'm just like, fuck, mate. You just watched the video. Like, do we have to even fucking think about this? Like, and then it sort of sorts itself out really quickly.
Yeah. We talked about the fact that the villain is basically just dispatched. Like, they don't even have like a throwdown, Jared. They don't even throw down.
They don't have a throwdown, but in its place, we have a conversation. Talk about a shit chat. Like, they're fucking... Danny Houston, this is probably his worst bit in the movie because he's just dribbling.
Actually, no, his worst in the movie is when he gets a phone call to be told that they couldn't find the phone or something.
Oh, yeah,
and he hangs up and he goes, damn. Fuck, Danny.
Yeah.
Come on, mate.
This one was, they start talking at, Danny Houston's showing him that he knows about his supernatural and he's fucking stabbing him, whatever, and then it's just done. And I'm like, fuck, man.
And there's some sort of monsters in the ground and what the fuck was going on?
God.
I was just like, this cannot come quick enough, the end of this.
Yeah.
It couldn't come quick enough.
Yeah, I was begging for it to end by that point.
But we had...
Just begging, Adam.
We had no... Like, we didn't care for these guys.
No.
And you summed it up before. In a handful of flashbacks, the original Crow shows that Shelley and Eric were in love.
Yep.
And they were being evicted. And she'd been a bit of a thorn in the side of these guys.
Yeah.
So the reasoning behind why they killed both Shelley and Eric was fucking fairly pedestrian. Straightforward. Right? And it's what scumbags do, Jack.
Yeah, yep.
Right? So, but
we got a few of the faces of the scumbags, and it was people like David Patrick Kelly, who you watch in The Crow, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that guy.
Yes. And
he's done that a few times in his career.
They all played all that out within the first half an hour of the original Crow, and we cared about Eric and Shelley. We fucking hated the villains.
Yeah.
And we wanted them to die. And then we just got into fucking revenge mode.
But you get someone like Michael Wincott, you remember him just because of the fucking tone of his voice.
Yes.
But then he's also got that look where he's wearing something that looks like a black version of the Kramer's kind of puffy shirt, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's wearing the puffy shirt in black. The pirate shirt. It's a pirate shirt. He's wearing one of them in black. And I think he's wearing like knee-high leather boots.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, we look at it going, shit, who'd wear that? But you remember it.
Yeah, exactly. But you're correct. You remember all the villains. You don't remember any of these fuckers in this. It also took way too long, Jared. I mean, it's 110. And it could have
if your dialogue scenes are that shallow and your fucking character arcs are as flat as Attack, like, don't make it 110 minutes. That's the rule of thumb.
85.
You watch it and you say, we got
85.
nothing here.
85.
We're spouting lines like, you know, if I'm hard to love, love me harder.
Do you think
And
the
I'm
editor,
thinking, fuck, 70, 75.
do you reckon the editor was like came to the fucking production, the 40 producers, and said, I've got to cut this up. Like, I haven't got a feature
I would have said,
length
I'm walking out unless, and once they say, well, we'll bump your pay. Okay, well, I'll finish it, but it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
I'm doing this against fucking, under duress. I'll handle it.
Adam, it wasn't fucking, I reckon it was 20 minutes in, and I was hoping that when I fucking slip off this mortal coil that I'll be resurrected as the Crow to haunt 40 producers.
To fucking kill 40 producers.
Maybe not kill them, but, you know, if they wake up in the morning and see me with black eyeliner sitting next to their bed telling them that this movie, this is why I'm here.
I'm here, yeah. I've moved a few things around in their room.
Yeah. And I'm going to wake you up at about 2:30 every morning, and I'm just going to remind you.
And fucking disappear.
I'm just going to remind you about this movie.
Yeah, it's... I don't like to say hate, Jared, but I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
And
I was pretty close.
My irritable bowel got worse and worse and worse. I shat twice in the period of having watched this.
And it's all this movie's fault.
Look, I think it might be the fibre tablets, but whatever.
Yeah, one or the other.
I think it's the Metamucil, the protein, the fucking IBS. Like, there's so many.
But it could be the Crow. That's all you need to know.
Well, yeah.
This movie gave me the shit. Definitively.
Well, we've got data.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got actual data that says
I
this
watched
movie
the Crow,
gave
I
me
shat twice. It's an open and shut case.
Yeah, you can put that shit in front of a jury.
What do you mean?
get
What are you
up.
talking about? I had 7 eggs for breakfast. That doesn't matter.
Yeah. You can't tell me I ate undercooked chicken the night before. That's got nothing to do with it.
Yeah. What? I visited Funky Curry for lunch. What's that to you? Like, Jesus.
Yeah, look, fucking hell, put a pin in it. This movie sucks.
Yeah.
And
it's really bad.
I'm going to say, we take some time. Go back to the drawing board on The Crow, okay?
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to do another one, take
But
longer.
she's pretty fucking straightforward.
I know.
Like I said, John Wick with face paint and a black coat.
Jared, is The Crow dead?
None of these things are
No, I
ever
know,
really dead, but I
should they be?
I give it 5 years before we start getting whispers of a remake after this shit.
Should they be? Because there's not a lot of places to go here.
It's
Yeah,
not
as
like
you said.
it's not a deep mythology behind it, but when you've got something like this where it's like we're bringing fucking purgatory, we're bringing hell, we're bringing whatever. These guys brought hell in.
Yeah.
We didn't use it, but you know, you've got places to go. You just need someone to don't just like I said, it's another case of don't just fucking roll into someone's office and say, what do you reckon? Should we make The Crow? Wait for somebody like, you know, Mike Flanagan's doing with Nightmare on Elm Street
To come
say,
and
hey,
say, boom, here's
I've
a
got
product.
a great idea for this. Hear me out.
Yeah.
And if you hear it out and you say, sounds remarkably like Bill Skarsgård's The Crow, you say no.
Yeah. Make sure you've got 39 other people who are willing to sign off on it.
But if you say, this sounds like Charlie Bronson in Eric Draven's role, you green-light it immediately.
Honestly, that sounds
is
fucking
Chuck
good.
Norris too old?
No, but he's got no pelt anymore, so he can be hurt.
He's fucking skinless. Yeah, exactly.
His
We've
fucking
taken his hair.
yak-head chest is there.
We've taken his hair and he's become a little more susceptible to damage.
He's like fucking Samson. Isn't it Samson?
Yeah.
Samson was the hair guy.
Yeah, I think so.
And he's more hair chest guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this doesn't have as many. It's not like, some of the other franchises that we've seen where there's probably a little bit more juice, a little bit more ways to go around it. But I still feel like, yes, you could probably go again, but you need to be, A, less complicated, B, a slightly different route, make it more of a Revenger.
That's
just
the problem.
simple
There was
revenge.
no complication to a lot of parts of this movie, and that was one of the big problems. Like their relationship, for example. Fuck, talk about uncomplicated.
Yeah, it was.
Let's smoke a blunt and fucking have sex. That was their whole relationship.
No.
It wasn't a blunt. It was probably something stronger.
Yeah, it had cocaine in it. It was laced.
But I think
But also, we do it in montage form.
It just seems to be cases of like we said, the whispers of this were we're remaking The Crow. There was never someone's come up with a really good idea. In the middle, you've probably got someone like Blumhouse who's actively seeking like the IP.
Yeah.
But has a kind of method of, well, we're not going to make it if it's not interesting.
Yeah.
And then what I'm looking for is just wait until someone says, fuck, we've got a fantastic Crow script.
Yes.
And I've got the rights. Let's do this.
Yes. Agreed. Because I don't think that's how this has come about at all.
Absolutely
This has just
not.
been fucking cooked up. And to spend $50 million, Jared.
Oh, it's fucking laughable, isn't it?
I mean, you get away with 20.
But 50 seems like a responsible budget for something with a bit of clout. So that tells you how badly they screwed this up.
Yeah. Because it is, I guess, as far as budgets in Hollywood go, 50's pretty responsible.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we were making, what was Halloween, the first Halloween when Blumhouse got hold of it? They
I think it was
bumped it up to like
18 or
12
20.
Yeah, well, somewhere in that range. And they're noted for doing it well unders with a series that's done it for well unders for years. So you think 50 for something like The Crow is not necessarily going ridiculous.
What was the first one budgeted at? I wonder.
Jeez, yeah.
Hold your
Interesting
shit.
question.
Hold your shit. I think you'd find it's pretty. It was, maybe reasonably big back in the day. Okay, the original Crow was budgeted at $23 million.
Yeah, sounds about right. I was just thinking because they had to go back with the digital
CGI
stuff when that wasn't necessarily the done thing. So,
But it made $50 million worldwide, I think.
Yeah.
So, look, even by the
if you had
standards...
said to me before this came out, do you think we can get a Crow film to $100 million? Thinking, doubling your budget like the original did, I would have said yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was very wrong. So.
Well, it's got to be good product.
Yeah, exactly.
This isn't good product.
Yep.
All right, that's the Crow remake. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Podomatic, and wherever else you get your podcasts. Send us an email at thrillme@iinet.net.au. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, Podomatic at thrillme.podomatic.com. And we're also on Instagram at thrillmepodcast.au. Keep an eye on the Facebook page for the details of the next film. But until then, take it easy, everyone, and we'll catch you all later. Cheers. Find the podcast at Podomatic or on iTunes. Don't forget to rate and review. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia or contact us at thrillme, all one word, all lowercase, at iinet.net.au.